Hello, my name is Kyle and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you why President Trump could actually impeach Joe Biden. And also, I'm going to share with you, to that end, why this party is no longer the party of the Romneys, the Ryans, the old country club Republicans of the 70s. Nope, it's not even your father's party anymore, depending on how old you are. And so I'm going to share with you an article that is from the Western Journal. I'm going to bring it up right here, and it's entitled, "Here's How Donald Trump Could Impeach Joe Biden." And so here it says, last week, former President Trump described as interesting the idea of his running for a Florida seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. Now conservative booster Rogan O'Handley, better known as DC Drano, is putting forth an idea to take things a step further. The scenario, which O'Handley freely admits is crazy, is to have Trump impeach Joe Biden. It goes something like this. Now, before I get to this, I understand this could be a little bit convoluted, but you also understand that what happened with the Democrats before they impeached President Trump twice, and he wasn't even in office the second time. So obviously, it shouldn't be a big deal if President Trump tries something like this, right? I mean, certainly they couldn't possibly be upset by this, right? I don't think so. First thing Trump would do is run for office for a House of Representatives seat in 2022. And then a red wave would bring forth the House of Representatives under the control of the Republicans, as that absolutely would happen. And I'm pretty sure that President Trump would win his congressional seat in Florida, which I'm pretty certain he would win that seat. And then also there being a red wave in 2022, minus any hanky-panky that I can't talk about on this channel. You know what I'm talking about. Barring any of that, then absolutely there's no way the Democrats can stop the massive red wave that's going to happen, especially if Trump is running on a congressional seat ticket. All right. So then at that point, Trump would have to run for office within the Congress because the House of Representatives is now under Republican control. They have the majority, and thereby they can elect their own Speaker of the House. In this case, it says here, Trump would win that election very easily, taking out Nancy Pelosi. Now, of course, that would be a wonderful thing and worth the price of admission. Absolutely. And finally, as Speaker, President Trump would actually have the authority to run the rules of the committee, of the House. He is control of the major branch of the U.S. government. Thereby, he can set the rules, and he can bring what comes to the floor. That's up to his discretion. And thereby, all you need to bring up an article of rules of impeachment would just be to do it. And as you saw before, the Democrats did that twice. And so that would happen. And then he would just need the majority vote to actually push that into the Senate for a trial. And here is where I would think this is where the plan could fall apart, because I'm not sure if the Republicans could get the necessary votes to actually convict Biden and Harris in the Senate. If they could, then absolutely we go to the next step here, where President Trump would take over the presidency by default because Speaker of the House is the third in command, the chain of succession. And also under Amendment 22 of the Constitution, he could still run for president in 2024. So how it looks is this, to recap simply, President Trump runs for Congress in his district in Florida, which he would win by a landslide. In fact, he would run unopposed. So there you go there. So then, lacking any hanky-panky, there will be a huge red wave giving the majority from the Democrats to the Republicans. Thereby, they have the ability, or they have the duty, to put forth a Speaker of the House. They would vote that person in, and of course that would be Trump. And there, he could set forth the articles of impeachment, which would certainly be soon to follow. And again, with that, we know the process. We've seen it twice before. It would go over to the Senate for a trial, and at that point in time, they would need, I think, a 2/3 majority. I think they need 66 votes in order to convict. I think they may need more because of Bernie Sanders. But let's just say that they get those because, there could be people like Manchin out there from West Virginia, the senator, who refuses to go along with this ridiculous voter bill they're trying to do in Congress now. That would be wonderful. And if you get enough Democrats to come on board, you get the seats because, you get the votes. And obviously people aren't happy with Biden, a lot of us. Then that would happen and it will play out exactly like this. Now, the left would lose their minds, but there isn't anything they can really do about it. So aside from all that, I also want to point to another article here by Breitbart here. And this is that the shift in Hispanic vote towards GOP under Trump could be permanent unless Republicans revert to pre-Trump ways. Now, I'm bringing this up simply to say, the first part of that is, if President Trump could do something like that, where he could win his seat in Florida and move over and win the approval of the party in the House to become Speaker of the House, and then to push forth the agenda to launch articles of impeachment and then have it go to the Senate and win, obviously means the fact that we're even talking about this means that this party is no longer your party of your Romneys, your Ryans. Like I said before, the country club Republicans of the 70s, no longer there. This is a MAGA, America First party under the reins, under the control, under the influence of President Donald J. Trump. This article talks to us about Marco Rubio, because Marco Rubio is someone that I would put in that category of one who would be a rhino. I mean, he's, for a very long time, I kind of saw him that way, a very establishment-based Republican. But also, Marco Rubio is not really the kind of Republican that doesn't see the tea leaves, who doesn't actually understand what's going on, who doesn't keep his ear to the ground. He knows where the winds are moving. He knows that this is Trump's party, and he's saying it right here in this article. He's saying that Hispanic voters are telling him that they are a conservative-based party. They don't read Twitter. They don't look at these blue check markers, and they're influenced by Hollywood or any of that. They go to work, they do their jobs, and they are pragmatic. They're common sense people. And that's the kind of administration that President Trump ran, and that's the kind of policies that President Trump put forth, and that's the kind of policies that Hispanics and Latinos, by and large, now are gravitating towards. And that is something that's really, really important. And Rubio says, look, as long as Republicans don't resort back to the days of before, pre-Trump ways, the Romneys and the Ryans, then guess what happens? This could be a permanent situation with Hispanics and Latinos. And that would be a huge deal for this country, a huge deal. And I think even Black people would come on board too, because at some point in time, they have to figure it out. The last election cycle, Blacks were coming on board a little bit. There was a high percentage rate for Trump. But again, Democrats still use that race card over and over again to get the emotions up. But even that is going to be a misnomer going forward, as people realize that this is just not helping us. This racism rhetoric, this BLM rhetoric is just not helping our communities. It's not, especially when they see the hypocrisy coming out of BLM and the like. This other article I'll share with you real quickly is this article here from Based Media. It's the time of Romney-Ryan Republicanism is over. It's a good article here. It's very technical. It's very slick in the way he writes. But the end all be all is the fact that the party of Ryan and Romney, the party of, let's see here, Liz Cheney and George Bush and, Bill Kristol, Nicole Wallace, Steve Schmidt, and Michael Steele. Michael Steele, what a disappointment Michael Steele is. In fact, I have a picture, because he's from my home state of Maryland. I have a picture of he and I at a convention, a Republican convention back in the day. It's a great picture. It's fantastic. I'm all decked out in my suit. He's sharp. He's got his cufflinks. He's a sharp dude, man. He can dress well. And I'm with him, whatever. I'm taking a picture of him. But you know what? I can't show that picture anymore. As good as the picture is, I'll get laughed out of the Republican Party. I'll get laughed out of conservatism. I'll get laughed off of YouTube, even though the picture is awesome. I may share it. If you want me to share the picture, let me know. Comment below. I'll send it to you or show you somewhere where you can get it. But Michael Steele and the rest of these guys and gals are a huge disappointment. This is not where the party is going. The party wants to be an American First Party. As the left goes further and further to the wacko Marxist group, America looks, dude, my taxes are doubling. My gas taxes are incredibly high. The lumber, if I go to Home Depot, it's like 3 times, 4 times, 5 times what it was before, maybe higher. No, people want to live their lives, be left alone, and let all that other stuff be dealt with by the states, not oversight by the federal government. And that is what the America First policy is all about. We see what's going on in China. We see what's going on overseas. We see what's going on with the energy costs and prices and how America's being taken advantage of again. And people just do not want to go back to those days. And so that is why I think Marco Rubio said that. And that's why I think this really, really could be a situation where it is permanent. The important thing is this. What do you think about this? What do you think about President Trump actually impeaching Joe Biden going through that route? As we know, the hanky-panky, there may be some other ways that could happen even before that, because Trump did say sooner than you think. Also, let me know about what you think about Trump's party, the Republican Party, going away from the old 70s grandma style of country club conservatives, that bourgeoisie, that laissez-faire attitude has gone. What do you feel about that? And if you like what we do on this channel, we take pop culture and politics and filter to you in a conservative manner. In other words, filter to you right, then please click the like and subscribe button and that bell icon so you don't miss any future content. There's a join button there if you want to click that to find out how to support this channel. And right now on the screen, there's a way you can help the channel by checking out some videos that we've done in the past, and we chosen some for you right here.